say that I am streaming party audio? Does it say I'm streaming party audio? Yay or nay? I've just done it now. I didn't realise it was its own little tag, so...
It's fine. Right.
I have to remember that every time, but yeah, now we should hear you off the bat, which is a good start.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Hey, 19 people. It's pretty good. Alright. There we go. Alright, oh, Xian's gone. It's a good start.
Oh, didn't he need to like restart? Because
Yeah, he probably did.
Yeah. Great time to restart.
Here we are at the Bahrain International Circuit. We've got, I think the only car we're missing is one Red Bull. Oh, we got both Red Bulls because Hugo's filling in for Shuey again. So who are we missing? Is it a Alpine? Yeah, we're missing one of the Alpines, so that'd be I'm going to assume that's with Face, who got a pretty good result last time out and sadly won't be able to make it happen again, which is a shame, but we've still got almost a full grid, so lovely jubbly.
Bram's out first.
And Bram is out first, and he's got points to make up because he didn't attend round one, and he realistically, if he turns up for enough races, he should be in this title fight. And if Shuey keeps not turning up to races, it probably won't be a title fight. But it looks like Toppy is up there as it stands, and Bram should be up there if he gets some consistent results from now, at least.
Well, yeah, starting
And
25
elsewhere,
points behind the front. It's not ideal.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit of ground to make up, but we've seen him make up before, and you don't know if Toppy will miss around for some unforeseen circumstance. So things can change. Things will change.
God forbid.
And elsewhere, returning but didn't make round one, Kosai, looking to get have a good start to life in Williams, moving from Haas with his old teammate Matt Copper also moving to Williams. Matt got a decent, I guess decent is a good way of describing his round one. Had a pretty badly timed safety car. He'll be hoping that something like that doesn't fall on his way again and he can get a good result regardless of a obstacle. But it looks like, I can't remember if Xian got back in.
Xian is in, yeah.
Looks like maybe not, I'm not sure.
Oh, in the pits,
was that someone backwards, or was that someone... Oh, someone letting someone through, I think. Not sure, was that Hugo? Yeah, no, it's someone letting someone through. It's fair enough. But it is Bram as well.
Boris started first.
Looks like Bram's going to be giving Hugo a tow for this this banker lap and qualifying. And we have a 20th person. So where are you?
That is Alpine, I think.
Real Pixel, yeah. Real Pixel is in.
Pixel as well.
He wasn't here last race either. It's been a while, I think, since he raced a main seat, and that was for Williams a couple of seasons ago. And it looks like the banker time will be laid down by Rise, as you mentioned, unless it's in fact Toppy in front of him.
Yeah.
No, so Toppy is behind him, so it will be Rise who crosses the line first to set the time to beat as he heads down through the third sector. And it's been a good showing from the Alfa Romeo driver in the first round, and
Did get involved in a late crash.
but yeah, there's no points on the board for him still. As he sets the fastest time, it's immediately destroyed by Toppy, quite frankly, and he's not going to be too pleased with that, because
Is close to across the line.
Hugo then crosses the line, having got that toe off of Bram boxing, so maybe he made a mistake that ended up catching Hugo out. Either way, it looks as though Brandon also invalidating his lap, and there is a Ferrari heading over the line. It looks like it'll be Benciak, so as he heads over the line, he's only really within a second of Toppy, so Toppy has set the time to beat, and it is quite a formidable time off the bat, a 1:27.242. Korkamalakis, not the kind of time he'll have wanted to lay down as a banker, but it is a banker nonetheless, and he'll be able to go again with something to go by.
So
at the very least.
SC plays, comes in 7th, so last out of everyone that's made a lap so far.
And as there's Chaz in the McLaren crossing the line to start his lap, and here is Mikey and the other McLaren, both of whom DNF'd last round, so they'll be looking to put in a much better performance between the two of them. Mikey 2.5 seconds off the pace, but that is, as more and more times come in, that is becoming an even better lap from Toppy, and I wasn't quite expecting it to be as good as it was for a first flying lap. Either way, further down we've got Real Pixel heading on to his flying lap, and behind him Yellow's in sector 3 for, looks like that's an Aston Martin coming to the line. It is Danny Boy out in the final corner.
Yeah.
He's going to get that DRS activation, and he moves up to 6th again, not even within 2.5 seconds of the fastest time so far. So either everyone's got a lot to improve, and this isn't, they've not set representative lap times, or Toppy's just smashed it out of the park off the bat, as there's a Haas crossing the line.
Now James Petty's got crossing the line.
Lap, and James Petty also crosses the line, so he goes up to 6th.
They're all getting around 1:29 with 6s or 7s right now.
And it's a very close battle in that midfield, but it doesn't seem like there's much to challenge Toppy. And of course there is also BRT Jacob couldn't make this round due to a broken finger, so another one of the drivers you'd be expecting to fight him from the front, just not here to challenge Toppy. And Bram, of course, not getting a lap that he would have wanted in that first run means that, although there's a purple middle sector for Real Pixel, I've just noticed, so if he can get this traffic out of the way, there's a Williams going a bit slow in front of him. I think that maybe it's not cross-side, so that's Matt getting maybe in the way of Real Pixel or giving him a tow. We'll have to see whether that's been detrimental or helpful. He moves into that midfield pack up to 5th, but I do wonder if maybe Matt Copper got in his way there out of the last corner, because it did look like he backed him up very slightly, although he may have then received a tow that
Danny Boy's going to go into the pits now. Wasn't the lap he was hoping for.
We see Ducky F1 setting a purple first sector. That's an interesting one. You wouldn't be expecting to see that. The Haas driver who picked up a point last round, remember, but not someone you'd be expecting to fight from the front, especially not on qualifying pace. But a purple first sector, assuming that that's not bugged in some way. And as we see further back,
Benz has now moved into the 2nd.
James Petty heading into the pits, and Mick crossing the line to start another lap, or maybe to bank the one that he's just set. Either way, Chasmeister doesn't cross the line, he pits, and there was an Alfa Romeo who crossed the line there. Brandon, he's yet to set a representative time, but
Ducky going across the line.
Here we go, Ducky around to the last corner. He heads up to the line, and it's only P11 for Ducky F1, so I do wonder if that first sector, purple sector, maybe was bugged, or if he just didn't get it together the way he wanted to. Either way, Matt Copper up to P3, putting in a decent bank of time by his standards for the Williams team, but also a whole second off the off the provisional pole position, which is not looking good for anyone else wanting to fight for victory here, because they're looking off the pace.
Only 5 drivers now without a lap. But Cossai's coming round. Drove through sector 2. Takes that corner well. I think there's a car up ahead which will just get out of his way. Hopefully. Yep. It's passed. Now we're going to enter sector 3.
But here comes Brandon. He put in a, quite frankly, stonking qualifying session back in round 1 at Suzuka. Can he reciprocate the same kind of lap? He cannot, but he's only a 10th off of his teammate in P5. That is a
Cossai's got a very quick lap here.
Started for Alfa Romeo, as Kossai crosses the line,
not maybe as quick as
he goes
liked,
behind his
top
teammate in P4, dislodges both the Alfa Romeos down a place, and only a 10th off of Matt. So Williams looking good so far as these banker laps come in, and people will start to head back in to go for one final flyer.
High Caliber got a lap as well, but that puts him.
And Sheehan across the line splits the two Williams. I couldn't get down there in time to watch him across the line, but that's a good time from him as well. Again, a second off of Toppy, so
Luigi goes into 8th.
A good fight. There is a good fight materialising here, but good is it for P1 or is it really for P2, P3, the latter positions of the podium? Because Toppy looks like he may have this one wrapped, unless Bram comes out with one lap to do something and pulls off something that we've grown to expect to see from him. It all depends on that, I suppose. So I'm kind of interested to see who has purple first sector. But I don't see that, which is
Rares did get a better, quicker lap there. It was only 1/10, so it keeps him
here comes
sixth.
ST plays over the line. He's got a clean lap here. His first wasn't representative. He crosses the line and he moves up to 16th place, so not quite where Mercedes would want to be. His teammate, of course, up in the top half of the tables. He's going to want to go again. He get back to the pits quite quickly though. He's got 5 minutes to get in, put some new tyres on, and go back out again. Same could be said for.
What is Bram doing?
He's pitting. Bram.
He's sitting in the pits.
Yeah, he'll be going out when everyone else goes out for one last run. He's not got time to go out, pump round one lap, and then come back in.
Yeah.
He's only
What
got
does he
one
want? The
lap
fresh.
left.
He wants the fresh tyres for his lap.
Well, he wants to be out close to the end of the session as anyone else could be, really. As close to the end of the session as he can.
Yeah.
I assume track evolution's a thing in this game, because it feels like it probably should be. And realistically, being the last one out track is going to put you in the best position to get the fastest lap, and since he's not been able to put in a good consistent one in his first run,
it is risky though.
He's just
If
going to
anything
set
goes
out for
wrong,
last.
and he's
Of course he has.
last.
Yeah, he's only got one lap to put together, but we've seen it before, and we know that he's very much capable of it. I assume everyone is going to be darting into the pits here.
Yeah.
And the last will be probably ST Plays. A couple of people heading out early, I think. Is that Mikey?
James
Or-
is just.
So Mikey's head out for an early first flyer, so
Yeah.
maybe he goes for two
not-
quick runs at the end of this qualifying session. Same could maybe be said also for James Petty, who occupies the position above him so far in the timing charts. It looks like he's gone for another quick flyer and then maybe double flyer if he has to. You've left. So,
It said migrating host.
right, yeah, so you've disconnected.
Everyone's leaving though.
If you restart your game, I'll invite you.
A lot of people have just left though.
That's you.
Oh,
That's what I mean.
Alright, invite me. Technical difficulties.
But yeah, it looks like a couple of people are going to start creeping out of the pits now for their last attempt at pole position, and really it's going to have to be some attempt to dislodge Toppy from top of our timing charts here. And James Petty put in that first time, and that first time was enough to move him up to 8. Mikey could only move up to 10, though, so it looks like he's going again, though. He is going to get that second run in with not a lot of battery, so, and a bit of a snap there on the exit of what I assume is turn 9, or turn 8, if that little kink before turn 10's a turn.
Could I get another invite?
Yep.
I think I joined.
Start your game.
Yeah, I've done it.
I think
Yeah.
that's probably the best bet. Oh, okay. Fair enough. But yeah, so here we go. We've got Chaz ahead of him on the outlap, heading down sector 3. We've got Mikey, who is not improving here. Behind him, there is one of the AlphaTauris getting out of the way of. I assume that is James Petty going for a second flyer now. He's not improving there either. But there is a AlphaTauri, and I assume that is High Caliber on an outlap, so he will be the second, maybe, to cross the line. Chaz being the first, he's already heading through sector 1. He's got a lot to make up, because you'd assume that's probably not a representative time, 3 seconds off the pace. And that is definitely not a representative time for High Caliber either, so there is positions to be made, and it's a very crowded track out here as everyone goes for one last flyer, so traffic may well play a factor in here, and that is what Bram's got to be careful of, because yes, he's going to leave it late, and yes, he's got to put it all together on a lap, but he's also got to hope that there's no one parked on an apex by accident that can then get in the way of his final pole position push. And Bram's still not going out. There's a minute 40 remaining. He's not going to get out or around in time. So maybe Bram's he saw Toppy go for last race, and he thought, do you know what? I think I can do that myself. Because Bram is not here, quite frankly, or he's just not leaving the pits. But here is Real Pixel heading into sector 2. Now, he is not improving as it stands, 2 tenths off what his previous best was through there. And there's a couple more cars beginning to creep across the line to start a flying lap, Ducky F1 being one of them. And Chaz puts his time in, it's only good enough for 15th, but has he got enough battery to realistically go again? It doesn't look like it. Seems like he's probably going to struggle to better that time with only 30% battery.
Real Pixel
way,
was down on his previous lap time, but only 2 tenths, so he can make that up in the last sector and a half here.
But both Ferraris on an outlap. There's a Haas also on an outlap, I'd assume. As Mick goes across the gravel into the barrier, is there damage there for the Aston Martin driver? I'm not too sure. It's an interesting place to go off. Maybe not. He's just got to snap through sector 2 S's. But that has ruined his lap there, and he's not going to get an improvement. Either way, both Alfa Romeos starting their lap, and the Alpine of Real Pixel couldn't improve. He ended up making a mistake, I'd assume. And that is it for his qualifying, as ST Plays comes over the line and spins over the line 2 tenths up on what he did. So yeah, there looks like
got a good lap here, I'd just say.
Ducky is improving, 3 tenths up. It could put him up the order a bit, maybe above Chaz if he can get it in, and he does, ahead of Danny Boy as well. So Ducky F1 14th position as it stands, and Chaz coming around the last corner, he is not improving by any means. And Toppy around the final corner, not really kept tabs on this, but Toppy 2 tenths up. If he's kept his sector 3 clean, he could be on to extend his gap here, and he does so. 1.2 seconds ahead of the field. There is Hugo across the line. Hugo doesn't improve. There's an Alfa Romeo across the line of Mikhail. He does not improve.
Oh, Kokonakis goes wide there.
The first Ferrari Bentiak, so he does not. He improves by 3 tenths to go again 8 tenths behind Toppy.
He does
so the
improve
improvement was there, and there's an improvement from Sheehan as well. He goes third, exactly a second to 3 decimals from Toppy.
Kokonakis just went up to 8th with his lap. I thought he went too wide.
But here is Rarius. He's in a bit of a drag race to the line, and he goes 5th. And there's High Caliber as well, not getting a good lap time in there, so he'll be disappointed with what he's not quite managed to put together here. Kosai not improving there. He's made a mistake clearly on that last run, and that looks like that'll be your qualifying order. As I assume we'll be waiting for Kosai to get around the final corner and over the line. I think he said he was 16 seconds up on his sector 2, so clearly a mistake made there somewhere.
Yeah, Kalkamalakis. I apologise. I thought he went too wide there, but he kept his speed well and went from 11th to 8th, and then 8th temporarily, then moved down to 9th. Good luck from him. Move him up a couple of spots.
But there we have it. From the first lap we put in, Toppy absolutely dominated this qualifying session. He's looking to extend his championship lead, and this is the best way to do it. He'll be on pole, and he's got the 2 Ferraris behind him. And they've been pretty impressive as well. They got a pretty impressive qualifying for round 1, and their result only really marred by Sheehan having to make his way through traffic because of a safety car. So the Ferraris could be ones to watch out for the Constructors' Championship this year, considering they both seem to be turning up, and they both seem to be turning up consistently at the front of the grid. And again, both Williams drivers and both Alfa Romeo drivers up at the front where they want to be. Maybe Brandon a little bit further back than he'd like to be, but that Suzuka qualifying could possibly be a bit of an outlier on where he's going to be averaging this season. It does just depend what he can put together over a lap distance. Either way, we have got a couple more drivers up there, just the one out of a team, so there'll be a couple of teammates hoping that they're not necessarily going to be playing second fiddle all season, and that maybe there's some improvements that they just couldn't quite make across those
Will I get another invite?
qualifying laps. Yep, you can.
It'll be interesting to see where Bram ends up as well, because we saw Toppy last
Assuming he's here
season.
because he just didn't move, so I wonder if he's disconnected and I didn't notice it, or
Yeah, I can't join. The
something
session
like
is
that.
full.
I'm going to do the race director thing again and check what tyres everyone's going on this time. Hopefully not forget to watch the restart,
need another
the
invite.
race start. But Sheehan also left, so I wonder if there's technical issues there. As he goes to the start of the grid, and it is Toppy on pole, and there we go. It's lights out, there we go. And I don't know why spectator menu makes it so difficult to watch this kind of thing, but here we are into turn 1. It looks like one of the Ferraris has got bogged down extremely, and that'll be Sheehan's AI. So Sheehan's AI losing a lot of places off the start, and of course Toppy maintaining that lead, but Matt up to P3, and then behind them we have Ferraris on the mediums in P4, so he's going to be looking to keep his positions as much as possible and try and take that a little bit longer, that stint a little bit longer into this race. Toppy building up a fairly healthy gap, but further back there's a bit of a tussle between a couple of drivers, and it looks like Ducky F1 maybe falling a little foul to a bit of contact. And there's a spinner up front, I think I saw, but I couldn't quite catch it. There's Danny Boy spun, and behind Mikey spun and Hugo, so there's a couple of drivers who made a bit of a contact with each other off this race start, but Toppy is there at the front, and he's almost got a second gap to Benciak, so behind him Matt Copper looking to make up a couple of places on the soft tyres, and Ferrari's doing a very good job to keep the other soft runners behind him, but he's got Kosai on his heels, and behind him Luigi Sven also on the soft tyres. So it looks like both Alfa Romeo is going for an interesting strategy option here. They're both gone for the mediums off the bat. They're going to be slightly slower than the soft runners, and that could mean that they're vulnerable, but it looks like Brandon's got a pretty good gap to James Petty in the Alfa. Oh, James Petty also on the mediums, so those midfield runners, a couple of them, Korkalakis in the Haas, and then ST plays. Bram is here. He's 12th currently. He's done a very good job of starting from the back, and it looks like he's going to make up a couple more positions down the straight. He's got ST plays already, and as he gets to the braking zone, he's not quite close enough to Mick, but we'll keep tabs on that because the Bram last to first challenge is very much on. Either way, Brandon's in the wall. Out of turn 3, and that is a big disappointment for the Alfa Romeo driver. It's not what he's going to want to have done on those medium tyres as well, so he's going to have to more than likely box and go long on a different set, because debris all over those tyres, and it must have been a mistake there, or maybe there was contact, I'm not too sure, we just didn't see it. But here we see Rares is under pressure here, he's going to have to drain that battery to keep this position. And I don't think he's going to do it, although Kosai doesn't seem as willing to drain the battery this early on in the race. Either way, there's a bit of movement further back as Bram now up to 10th. He has got a position. Oh, he got the position gained on Brandon for spinning, but he's getting closer to Mick, and it looks like, oh, there's a spinner ahead again. Korkamalakis is round, the Haas driver. He's on, I believe, the medium tyres as well, so he's not going to be too pleased with the way his strategy's shifting up. But here we've missed a pass here. Matt Copper has got P2 off of Ben Jackson, and he's already put the fastest lap in ahead of Toppy, so Toppy might have some, well, I say he might have some competition here, but he's already got a healthy 1.3 second gap, and he's on the slower compound, which will come back to him come the end of the race, assuming the strategy goes his way. Behind Kosai, looks like he gets position. There's a bit of a bang there. He tries to go around the outside. Can he hang it around the outside? Can he keep it within the track limits? It looks like he probably does, and he gets the position on Rise. It's a nice move from the Williams man, and he's up to P4, and he's going to get his head down, and he's got 1.9 seconds to gain to be able to catch Ben Siaxo and the Ferrari ahead. Has it all gone wrong? I'd maybe try and restart your Xbox, I don't know. Either way, there's yellows in sector 2. We've got a spinner again, it's Mikey in the McLaren. McLaren really not having a good start to the season. Mikey on the soft compound, he's not making up the positions he would have wanted to. Real Pixel looks like he maybe gets a position off ST, but there's a bang of tyres. ST is going to try and stick it around the outside. I don't think he's going to though, but it's a very ballsy move nonetheless, and he's going to try and switch back in, get a better run on the exit, but he's not. Is it going to happen? Maybe. It looks like he's got a pretty good run, and he's going to catch the Alpine. He's got the inside now as well, so maybe there's a move on here. If he can just be slightly late on the brakes, but he's not, and he's got his nose in, it's not quite enough. Real Pixel maintains the position, and he maintains P10 for now. As Rise gets back ahead of Kosai at the end of the straight, and Kosai maybe made a mistake there because he's struggled a bit, and he's lost a position, and now he's got Luigi behind him. There is quite a gap from Luigi to Bram, but Bram's already made up numerous positions in this race. Already much more than, well, he's done a very good job to get up to where he is. And we have Bentz as well regain the position on Matt. Bentz on the medium tyres, so Matt's softs maybe already beginning to fall off in this sprint race. And the soft tyres is an interesting, a bit of a drift there from Matt as he heads into turn 10. It's a horribly cambered corner. Not a horribly, well, it's just a horrible corner, quite frankly. But as I remember, it's a sprint race and not an actual feature race, and therefore half my comments that I've already made make no sense whatsoever, because pit stop phases are not going to happen. I completely forgot it was a sprint. We have medium runners and the soft runner. We have medium runners and soft runners, and it'll be interesting to see because those medium runners are looking quite fast up the front of this grid here. Toppy and Bentz looking faster than Matt, although Matt maybe with DRS here, he's got a bit of ERS to use, maybe not a lot, not as much as Bentz by any means, and he's going to head down this straight, a very cloudy view as we see it from this camera angle. Has he got enough overspeed to make a move into turn one? He does not. And maybe it's already a case of he's going to struggle on those tyres. Either way, Kosai gets the move back again against Rares, and it's another case of soft versus mediums. What's going to come out ahead? Either way, Rares is going to get another dose of DRS. He's going to be able to send one up the inside. Kosai can't defend it. Rares gets that apex. Kosai can maybe switch back on him though. If he's gets better, good enough traction. It's not happening. He's got Luigi behind him. Just got to be careful that they don't come together, the two Mercedes Academy drivers. But either way, it looks like Kosai is the one making the moves and hopefully making strides forward, both on the soft tyres though, so the longer it takes them to progress forwards, it may become a point where they start to fall backwards if those softs do fall off a cliff as much as it's looking like they might. But here we go, down the last, into the last sector. A little bit of a look from Kosai to gauge his braking zone, just have a, maybe get our eyes looking in his mirrors. But as we head into turn 1, Matt Copper's going to be forced around the outside by Benziac, but he gets it under the braking. He had enough speed and he got a better exit. And now Rares is going to start this position. Kosai's been boxed in a little bit by Luigi Sven. He's got Luigi Sven inside. They've got to make sure they don't come together here. But the Williams driver is going to get a better exit and he's going to get another dose of DRS. And maybe here is where he could get things done, although it looks like Luigi's got a better run on him, and now he's going to maybe have to play defensive as Luigi looks to move down the inside, but it's not happening for the Mercedes driver. And it looks like it'll be, as we were, heading into lap 6 of this 10-lap sprint race, with Kosai right on the diffuser of the Alfa Romeo of Rares, and Luigi Sven not far behind him. As we head into turn 10 here on a cockpit cam with Benziac, so he's going to get DRS, he's going to get a decent exit, and he's going to look to maybe the inside here to make a move. If he's got enough speed, and maybe he does, there was a bit of a temptation to send one down the inside, but Matt was aware of it and it wasn't coming for him. Further back, Kosai as well, dropping back a little bit on Rares, maybe those soft tyres dishing out a bit of pain for the Williams man. Either way, Matt Copper's going to be hoping his soft tyres will hold on as Bentz looks again to the inside, very late shift out to get Matt worrying under braking, just get him looking in his mirrors and afraid of what's behind him as we head down the pit straight. And again, it's a very foggy camera, but Bentz gets it done. He gets it done under DRS, and Matt's just going to sit behind. He's going to get DRS here, but is he going to, a bit of a snap as well for Matt Copper 97. He's going to maybe look to get back at him, but there's no way near enough for him. And further back, Kosai gets the move done, but also Luigi gets the move done. He's going to get DRS to defend, Rares is going to get DRS to attack, Kosai's going to get neither, but he's got a good enough gap that maybe Luigi's not going to be able to get a move done and he's going to be able to defend. So there goes both the Mercedes Academy drivers past the Alfa Romeo, and they both move up a position to 4th and 5th respectively. Either way, Mick trying to make some progress here on the soft tyres. He's got James Petty in front of him in the Alpine. They're close enough, but there's yellows in Sector 1. It looks like that's Ducky F1 in the Haas. There's yellows for Ducky. There's also yellows further back for, I assume, Danny Boy there. Looked like he was going slowly as well. So, a couple of mistakes being made further back in the grid. Mick close again to James Petty on the mediums, so you'd expect James Petty's tyres to be in the better condition, but also you never know what the case is. And also Mick got in a bit of that was a shunt in qualifying, so it's not necessarily correlating to the race. Either way, Matt Copper has been lost by Benziac, so he's within a second barely. I'm not even sure if he got DRS on that straight. And Kosai 7 seconds off the back of his teammate. He's got Luigi Sven on his inside. Luigi Sven, the Mercedes, going for the move there, and also Rares behind him. So there's moves being made, and Kosai having to defend off 2 cars, and they've got Bram on their gearboxes as well. So Bram making some strides in this sprint race. He's got the main race, and he'll be starting 7th minimum, assuming no contact puts him further back. Rara is now 2 tenths off the back of Kosai. Kosai's going to want to get that position back off of Luigi Sven. Luigi Sven doing very well in the Mercedes, on those soft tyres. And Matt Copper out of DRS now.
Mick has left James and goes into 8th place now. 5 seconds off Brownlow.
Oh, so Mick got that move done then.
Yeah. Went on the outside,
Fair
good
play
move, and has got away. Somewhat.
Well, it looks like maybe James Petty might get DRS here, and that might bring him back into that battle. He's 5 tenths back at the start of the DRS straight, and with those added, with the added drag reduction, he's going to be 3 tenths going into the braking zone into turn 11. As ST Plays gets a position off Gorka Malakis, and he's got a 3-second penalty. Hugo also a 3-second penalty by the looks of things for track limits warnings. So there's some good battles going on further back. There is a big battle heating up here for 4th position behind Luigi Sven, and it looks like Kosai is going to be in a bit of a pickle here. He's got 2 cars behind him with DRS. He has DRS to defend himself, but has he got enough in the tank? Although Rise is running very low on the ERS, so maybe Rise is the one who should be in a bit of a panic mode here. He's got Bram right behind him. Bram almost pushing him through to turns 1, 2 and 3, and he's going to get a good run and DRS into this braking zone. He looks to the inside. Is he going to dive to the inside? No, he moves back to the racing line, and he's going to retain the position he was in. He's going to look again. There's still a lap to go as James Petty looks to go around the outside with Mick. There's contact. Is he forced wide? There's a bit of a skid there, and they go too wide into this S section, but the Alpine driver keeps the position. Those medium tyres starting to get into their peak performance. Bit of a snap through there, and Mick's going to maybe get back at him, but
it's a huge battle for 12th place
position
right now. Huge battle.
As we look further back, there is a huge battle going on. There's quite a gaggle of cars crowding around. Looks like Korkomakis and the Haas losing a position maybe to Brandon. Brandon's trying to make up for a qualifying session that wasn't too great. And I'm not even sure. Sheehan is not here, so Sheehan is going to be disappointed with the fact that his race has not gone to plan. And I wonder if he's going to want inviting, or he's just not here. Either way, Brandon now getting the move done on ST Plays with DRS, so ST Plays was never going to keep that position because of a 3-second penalty, but it would have been nice to get it on, retain it on track nonetheless. Whereas now, as they head round the last corner, he is
big straight
very
coming
much
up now. Huge.
Well, Kosai is in the best position when it comes to attacking with ERS and DRS, and he's going to look to the inside of Luigi. Luigi doesn't seem to be defending it too heavily. Maybe they're just scared of coming together, as there's a bit of a touch on the rear of the Williams. That might put Luigi Sven in a bit of a pickle. He's got Rares behind him now. Rares with a run, but not a lot of ERS to work with, and Bram's not got that either. Bram again looking to the inside. There's not a move on. He's just going to sit back behind the Alfa Romeo, but the Alfa Romeo runs wide even, and now there's maybe a move. If he can stick it, he can't get his nose in. And the bit of a moment where Rares might have been in trouble, but he's managed to keep it in front of the Red Bull and keep Bram in 7th position.
Still very close between James and Mick now. They just keep interchanging in that 8th and 9th position. James has got the upper hand right now, but along the straight, it's going to be right behind him.
Oh, and I'll tell you who else interchanging. There goes Hugo. Hugo knocked around by, I think that's ST Plays. They come together banging tyres, and that very close fight that was going on around 12th position, Brandon managed to get clear of it. Korkomakis, ST Plays, and it was Hugo. They were all going about 3 wide going into sector 2.
Big in
it just
5th.
Didn't work for Hugo.
Bram goes up to 5th. Rara is 2.5 seconds away.
And Kosai's made a mistake. Kosai's got no front wing, it looks like. So Kosai's in trouble here. He's got no front wing. He's got Chaz behind him in the McLaren. Mick is now moving up to the last points position in the sprint race. Bram up to 5th. Luigi's going to keep 4th position. Rares is going to keep 6th as well. But Kosai is going to be out of the points come the finish line.
Chaz Meister
and he's
ahead
already
of
out of the
Kosai, yeah.
He's already out of the points.
Nice.
But Kosai, what's happened there? He's got no front wing, and he's done well to keep it in 10th position by the looks of things. It's not where he'd want to be.
Big movement at the
end
end
of
there.
the sprint race, but at least he's not DNF'd, I suppose, is a silver lining. Sheehan moving up to, well, Sheehan's AI, I think that is, moving up to 14th at the line due to ST Plays penalty. And Danny Boy,
not ideal
not
for
a good
him.
race either. He's just getting used to using that steering wheel, and clearly it's not been an ideal race for him in the sprint, but he'll get to go again come the feature race. I mean, you wouldn't really have noticed that, of course, Bram, driver of the day, last to, I believe it was 5th so far. He's going to be starting from 5th for the feature. He's got Toppy to chase down, and as I was trying to say, you wouldn't have noticed Toppy going on to take a pretty dominant sprint race win, with Bentz fairly far behind him in the grand scheme of things. Toppy with a lot of pace, and
Matt Hope
no one
gets
else
a
could really
good
match
3rd
it.
place as well. Not far,
It
he
is a
wasn't
good third
far
position
behind
for the
Benz.
Williams driver, but the other Williams driver won't be too pleased with how things ended up, and I wonder if there was contact. Well, there must have been contact with something. I wonder if maybe it was contact with the other Mercedes Academy driver, Luigi Sven. But Luigi Sven would be pleased with that 4th position. He's going to be in a good position come the main race. Hey, I've just read back through chat and I'm not appreciating that slander towards me and knowing if there was a rule against intermediate tyres, because I'm assuming there is, and I'm assuming I broke it once. And I'm pretty sure I did at Spa, but the fact that you would come to me for that is very much depressing.
Who was that?
I'm not very pleased.
Oops. Restart.
But here we go. 5 red lights on. We are underway. Top EP1, he's going to get a fairly good lift off the start, as no one's really got bogged down by the looks of things, although it's very difficult to see from the camera angles that we're given. And into turn 1, Toppy retains the lead. Matt Copper looking maybe around the outside. He's going to get squeezed out by the Ferrari though. He's going to have to maintain his third position. And behind, Korkamalakis is gaining position off of Kosai, so the Haas trying to go around the outside. There's not a lot of room there. Kosai on the inside. Is he going to be able to make a move? Brandon, there's a contact maybe further behind or further ahead from Rares trying to get a move off of James Petty. It looks like he went storming into that corner. And there's contact again. Chaz is round.
Oh, spin.
And someone else
Chaz.
as well. Kosai as well.
Kosai.
And there's a couple more
ST plays.
incidents further back.
Brandon.
ST plays is round, and I think Brandon as well. So it's like a... it's...
Big crash.
Jeez. There was a melee out
Oh,
there, and there's a... Oh, a spinner
Ducky,
again. It's that
Ducky.
Ducky F1. He's in the wall. Is
Round
he
that
out?
corner.
Because that was quite a
Hugo,
heavy hit. He's still
slight
going.
tap on him. Tap on his rear just then.
I wonder if anyone's got any actual damage. It looks like as they head into this corner, Ducky F1 still has a full intact front wing. Brandon still has a full intact front wing. Everyone seems to have front wings intact, so there's no real damage as they head down this sector 3. Sheehan's back. I wonder if from the position he finds himself in, which is 14th to be fair, is AI, if there's a chance he can get back in as ST plays, gets a 5-second penalty for corner cut.
That's not ideal, especially in 20th place. It's going to be a difficult race for him for that one.
But yeah, I forgot to check what tyres everyone's starting on. There's a move to the inside from Bentz to defend against Bram, and he does keep that position for now, and there's of course no DRS yet, but when it is...
Oh, ST plays another big penalty. He's DNF'd.
ST plays retired, so he's not had a good start to this race, and it's an absolute rainbow of tyre strategies out here. Matt Copper's trying to make positions off the start, going for the soft tyres, but Toppy's just too fast. He's got 7/10 on him already, and he's on the hard tyres. Bentz is behind them on the mediums, and Bram's gone for the softs as well, so Bram wants to get as close to Toppy as he can as quickly as possible, because if Toppy gets away, there goes the race win for Bram. He's not going to be able to catch him unless it's a safety car. So it's very much a case of staying within the DRS of Toppy. It's going to be quite a ask for everyone here.
Just behind Luigi now. Some big battles up there.
Maybe shape up a move. He's got a tyre advantage on Luigi, who's looking to go long in this race. Those hard tyres looking very nice with that Mercedes livery, but will it be able to come home with a big points haul come the end of this race? I'm not too sure. It gets a little bit bogged down on the exit of that corner. As there's caution in sector 2, someone's gone off. I think that's Danny Boy. I wonder if he's in the wall or if it's just a spin. It's an interesting position. Look like maybe there might have been a track reset there. I'm not 100% sure, but I can't say that kind of thing without knowing it. Either way, Toppy pumping him fastest laps. DRS enabled. Matt's not within DRS. It's not even useful.
Oh, big movement at the
sector
bottom.
3 as there's a spinner. It's Ducky.
Big movement.
Ducky
yeah.
in the second Haas car.
Kosei just ahead of Brandon. To the inside. Brandon's still there,
outside.
and Brandon spins him. They both spin. Wow.
Brandon and Kosai contact then, so Kosai has not had the kind of race he'd have wanted. Neither has Brandon. They've come together there. I wonder if that's something for the stewards to look out for.
Yeah, I think
as Kosai rejoins the track, and looks like there's a bit of lag going on. Maybe that's me connecting, or just
no, that was me as well. Hugo goes above Sheehan. Well, they're neck and neck really. Sheehan dropped off a little, letting Hugo take that 11th spot.
But
now,
Sheehan is here, so
it's DRS.
He's got a lot to make up, and he's going to look to make it up. There's a move on the inside. Is he going to get it done? Of course he is. He takes that apex, he commands that apex, and he commands 11th position. He's got Mikey ahead of him on slower tyres, and Sheehan's got some moves to make, as has a couple of cars who are not, well, out of cycle here, Kosai being one of them. That is, if he decides to continue on with this race. It's been a terrible start for the Williams, man. Not gone his way at all. There's been a couple of incidents that we've not seen. And there it is, the move we've been expecting. Rares down the inside into turn 1. He had DRS to assist him, and Luigi Sven just couldn't hold him off, as there's a big lunge down the inside from Korkamalakis, and he's tagged James Petty. James Petty is around Korkamalakis there. I assume that may be a penalty inbound for him, because he's gone storming into turn 1. No racing line there's really cost him, and I think he might be in trouble for that one. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
Because James Petty wasn't a lot he could do, and he's now down to 12th position.
It's quite close still for that race for second. Benz gets stuck on the curb. He loses out to Bram. Bram goes into third. But I was thinking Benz was catching up on that. Bram was just sitting behind, but now that curve has really killed Benz. Still quite clear of Rares though. He'll be looking to get that third position back.
Well, interestingly, Danny Boy's retired, but Danny Boy's retired on track, so I do wonder if that's something that might be picked up by the stewards as well, because usually that's a mandatory retire in the pit lane. But either way, Bence, maybe that was something that he was considering doing on purpose, letting Bram through, because Bram has got the pace on those soft tyres. It's not someone who Bence would be expecting to stay ahead of by any means, and especially not having that tyre deficit. If he can just stick behind Bram as Bram looks to make progress, maybe there's some positions to pick up there, and maybe that was the thought process as he
big
lost
battle
that
for
position
7th as
to
well, can I just say.
Bram.
Big battle on the straight.
Oh yeah, the
Takes
Mick
inside.
Hamilton defend to the inside. Korkamalakis looking to go around the outside. Doesn't look like he's going to get the traction he wants. Bit of a snap for Mikey, and he's going to leave the door open for Sheehan. Sheehan's going to get brilliant traction out of that corner, and he's going to get the position before the braking zone. So Mikey making a mistake on the hard tyres. Sheehan is he's not going to let him off for that. Punishes him immediately, takes the position, and Sheehan's now got to get involved with Mick versus Korkamalakis, and he's got to be careful, because getting past the traffic is something that can really, well, it can really transform someone's race for the worse if they get into an incident, as we saw earlier with Kosai and Brandon. Sheehan gets a position on Korkamalakis. Korkamalakis looks like he makes a mistake, and he gets bogged down on the curb again. Mikey gets a position as well, so the Haas has really not had a good sequence of corners. Sheehan up to 8, and he's got Mick in his sights, Mikey behind him. Korkamalakis made a couple of mistakes there, and he might have to look in his mirrors at the other Red Bull driver and Hugo.
Benz could go for a move here on Bram, or could just sit back. He goes up the inside.
He's up the inside, he's got a nose in there. Almost contact.
But you think he's going to go for a move on this straight now. And he does. I think we'll go for Matt as well.
Outside with DRS. Is there a move on that? Bit of a touch maybe. Touch of wheels between those two. Touch of wheels maybe with Bram. Matt tries to take the inside, but getting over that curb means that he's lost a bit of traction. And now Bram looks to get a move maybe on the Williams. Williams driver doesn't have any DRS, and he's going to lose 2 positions in the space of 3 corners as they head into turn 4. Touch on the rear of Bram. Could that send him round? Bram's got it under control, it seems. And Bent's taking P2. It's done exactly as I've predicted. He's taken advantage of a good position that's been brought along by him being towed by Bram. And further back, Sheehan gets the position off of Mick, so Sheehan up to P7. He's got Luigi in front of him on the hard tyres. That should be a car he'll look to overtake quickly if he can catch up to it quickly. And ahead of them, Rares kind of in a race of his own as well. He's got 3-second gap in front of him.
Spin from Mikey.
2 seconds in front of them. A spinner from Mikey.
No contact with anyone, just lost control. Korkamalakis
and
previously.
No front wing either.
Wow, that is tough for him. Korkamalakis did lose 2 positions for a bad exit earlier, but now he gets one of them back.
We have a VSC, as I think Real Pixel had to give that position back to Mikey because Mikey was back on track for the VSC. The VSC is going to slow everything down. We're going to be under a basically full course yellow. As
I'm no expert, but I'm going to say that Mikey is going to pit. I'm gonna real stab in the dark there.
But yeah, if this virtual safety car lasts long enough, maybe Mikey won't lose as much as he would have been fearing. He's got to change that front wing though with a pit stop, and it's gonna. Ooh, Matt Copper with a drive-through for speeding under the VSC. Is that one of those where it's his own mistake, or is that a game glitch? I am not sure, but that could be the undoing of his race if he has to serve that, or if he can get it overturned. I'm not sure, but diving to the pits early, Matt Copper and James Petty and Bram even, so not James Petty, Bram, both opting to go early. Matt for another set of soft tyres, Bram for a set of mediums, so they've gone their separate ways on strategy. Those soft tyres were going to be getting to the end of their, well, to the peak of their performance and to a certain drop off, and Mikey does pit, but is he going to end up retiring, or does he stick out in this race? It looks like he's going to stick it out. He's gone for the medium tyres off the hards, which I believe he was on. Got a new front wing on there as well, and as we go green again, Matt immediately gets a position off of high caliber, and Bram lost quite a lot. Bram lost quite a lot from that pit sequence, so
it's a big train up
here. There.
Fighting for
I
that
wonder
nice
if
spot, as you
Matt's
say.
drive-through, which, Matt got a drive-through and then served the drive-through. That'd be why. So Matt's drive-through immediately was served, so he's come out ahead of Bram purely on the fact that he didn't pit. So Matt's softs are not a new set of softs. Matt's softs are the same set because he's been forced to drive-through for a drive-through he served, for a drive-through he received trying to pit under the VSC.
You can see Bram
Matt
is absolutely rapid right now.
Of James Petty.
He's gaining on this pack.
Matt is going to look to the inside of James Petty. The move is done, and as he heads out the final corner, getting a little bit of a squiggle under traction. That rear stepping very slightly, but James Petty I don't think is going to come back at him. Although you can never be too sure as we get into the braking zone. No, it's not going to happen for the Alpine.
Bram gets another position.
And high caliber maybe with a move, or Bram with a move on high caliber even, as he sends one up the inside. High caliber maybe now might be in trouble. He's got Korkamalakis behind him. Korkamalakis is going to get a good run out of the first sequence of corners. Is there a move to the inside for him to look for? He looks for it. He looks, stares at it. There was an opening, but he wasn't close enough. And he's just going to have to sit behind in 12th and go again with another move.
Bram is just so quick right now. On top of his game, he's catching up to James Petty. Will he go for the move on the inside? No, he won't. He waits. He's right behind him though. Gets a better exit. Now going up the outside, he gets it on James Petty, and that's another position gain. He'll be chasing Matt down. Though we both working through the pack.
All the traction on those new medium tyres. James Petty's old mediums just couldn't cope, and Bram has got some places to make up, but it will come back for him come the end of the race. That VSC will have helped his strategy and maybe helped him draw in Toppy somewhat, who's got a 3.5 second gap to Benziaxo, who has a 6 second gap to Rares in the Alfa Romeo on the same tyre. Luigi 3.3 off of him, and then Sheehan making up some positions and some time on those who are ahead of him or provisionally ahead of him.
Some people are going under the radar
Mick
right now.
Also still on the softs.
Hugo has gained 11 positions so far, now in 7th, qualified in 18th.
Bram
Sheehan
gets
as
the
well.
position off of Matt, so Bram is fast. Bram is, those medium tyres are clearly working for him. He's got them switched on just as he want, and Matt's going to get a dose of DRS, but that's only going to really help him stick with Bram for a section of this lap, because Bram is flying, and Matt is going to be, he's going to be annoyed that those soft tyres didn't come off on that pit stop, because it didn't seem like that drive-through was fair, and then it was made him serve it. So that's thrown his race somewhat. It's just down to how he'll come back from that. Bram doing a very good job now, carving through the field. Up to P8 already, he's got his teammate in front of him, and only 1.5 seconds off the road as Hugo goes wide. So turns caught him out there. He goes wide in the braking zone, and that's going to have eaten into the gap he had to his teammate.
Yeah, positions wise, Matt Coper has lost a lot, but that was due to that drive-through penalty, and Kosai partially down to spinning, and a lot of it was not his race start, but he's looking to work through through the pack, but he's 12 seconds behind. Obviously, still 19 laps remaining, but it's going to be a big ask.
Well, it wasn't a sprint race either, and there is a lot. It is an extremely big ask, as you say, for him to come back from here. But he's going to give it a go. It seems like he's not given up yet. Neither of those behind him. Mikey getting in a bit of a spin himself, and Ducky as well. So they've not just given up like sometimes you see people do. And maybe there is a chance with a couple of well-timed safety cars or just good strategy calls, they could be brought back into this race somehow. Korkamalakis within 2 tenths of High Caliber. He's got DRS. High Caliber's going to defend with DRS himself. Korkamalakis looking to the inside. He has got to be vigilant though. He's got Real Pixel behind him in the Alpine, and he's got an Alpine in front of him as well in James Petty. So they're in a little Alpine sandwich, and they've just got to watch out for each other. There's a spinner further back. I think that's Brandon, has had a bit of a mare. He's stuck in the gravel trap by the looks of it. So
to go up to
Brandon's
7.
stuck in the gravel trap. He can reset to track. There's nothing wrong with that, because he is beached. So there we go. The reset to track, usually forbidden, but in those circumstances where he couldn't move, fair enough, we allow it.
Sheehan is gaining on Luigi. Only a second off. Luigi is on the hards though. But it's understandable why he is slower. But now it's within a second. Europe should kick in.
As Real Pixel gets a move done on Korkamalakis at the end of that third DRS straight. So Korkamalakis losing out of position there, but can he get it back? He's got a bit of a better run, it looked like, but has he got any DRS to work with? He's just going to sit behind the Alpine. He's going to get DRS, and I assume Real Pixel won't. He's only 1.3 off the back of High Caliber, so Korkamalakis will get that position, and Real Pixel just can't defend with any ERS or DRS. He's got none of it left in the tank, and they're going to look to try and get back onto the back of High Caliber, who's just being dragged along currently by James Petty. Those on the soft tyres currently, you'd be expecting the pit window to be in a couple of laps time, if not now. Mick up in P6, he's going to be struggling a little with Bram on his gearbox, but it's been a good stint for him up to P6. It's a respectable stint, definitely, but Bram's looking to the inside, and it is inevitable as he swoops in into turn 10. A little bit of a twitch at the front of the Aston Martin car, but Bram gets the position cleanly and with a lot of room as Hugo goes wide again. So Hugo is not liking turn 10.
Sheehan's just sitting behind Luigi. Is to note that Luigi does have double Sheehan's ERS, so although he is losing time, he can just switch that on and start gaining on him again. Sheehan 6/10 off, going into the final corner. First straight. You think he might be able to get a move? Half a second off? Will certainly close down the gap.
Luigi just isn't going to use that ERS yet. I think he's too far back, Sheehan. He's not got much in the tank. He's not going to overexert the battery either. There is another attempt coming here, I assume, and it's all down to whether or not Luigi can get the traction he needs on this exit. He will probably use a bit of battery, maybe not even. Sheehan just didn't get the exit he'd want, and DRS is going to help him move up to the back, but nowhere near any chance of a move. Luigi is very good at playing the long game. He'll keep that ERS in exactly where he wants it, and he'll use it exactly where necessary, and he's going to take those hard tyres as far into the race as he can in an attempt to build a strategy that will bring maybe even a podium position if he can be faster on a better set of tyres come the pit window and the latter stage of this race. Sheehan now with DRS again, but Luigi using a bit of battery to get clear on the exit, and Sheehan just doesn't have that defensible battery to attack. And of course he will have used a fair bit to carve back through the pack, as Kosai losing a position to Mikey. I wonder if that looks like that's just racing against each other. Mikey on newer medium tyres, Kosai on those 11 lap old softs, and Chaz boxed, but we've missed that occurring. He's onto the hards, so those hards to the end, it feels like a interesting call for Chaz, but there's a retirement. Brandon
honestly, I don't know what's happened with Brandon. He has retired though.
He wasn't having a good race. He was stone last by a fair margin after getting stuck in that gravel trap.
Korkamalakis and High Caliber are into
Matt
the pits
Pitts.
now.
Matt Pitts from 9th, so Matt now coming in to serve an actual pit stop, not a drive-through penalty. He'll come in to ditch those 12-lap hold soft tyres. There's a couple other drivers with those soft tyres who are going to look to get rid of those within the coming laps, I assume. And he's got a couple of drivers who weren't on soft tyres also boxing with him. So Matt taking those soft tyres to lengths that even those running on mediums couldn't would take those mediums. So Kosai also getting rid of the soft tyres, going for the hards. Kosai is going to look to go long, hope that there's a safety car that can aid his progression in this race. Toppy just managing this race so far, but Bentz isn't getting flustered by this. He has got a 4.6 second gap to what's the word I want?
Toppy.
I don't even know what the word I want. Anyway,
The race leader.
Toppy Pitts. Toppy is in box. He got the call from AlphaTauri. He's going to go off those hard tyres before Bentz goes off the mediums. So the hard medium going to Toppy Blinks first, and he's going to take those mediums, you would assume, to the end of the race. Rara's also pitting off the mediums, so I assume he goes hards as well to the end. That is what's happening. And Mick pitting as well off the softs. Is he likely to go hards to the end? Interesting that Toppy thinks he can take those mediums to the end, considering that he didn't take the hards further. But I wonder if that wasn't a question of tyre wear and just more a question of strategy, what he wanted.
A little bit of contact between Ram and Luigi, I think.
Oh yeah, Luigi's got quite a fight going on behind him. Bram's going to try and make up as many positions as possible, but I think that's Toppy as well. Toppy's in a fight with Bram. This is exactly what we want to see. Toppy and Bram in a fight. Toppy's going to get that move on the inside of Luigi. Luigi maybe getting in the way a little bit, maybe even just mediating this battle, because this could get heated. Toppy on fresh mediums, Bram on slightly warm mediums. Toppy is absolutely carving his way through this traffic. He's got Sheehan as well into the braking zone for turn 11, and Luigi's just keeping Bram behind him. So what we could have seen has just been brought apart by Ferrari and a Merc.
Mikey's picked up a lot of
Bram's gonna
positions
struggle
here.
to-
Into 9th now. Not to forget, he did pit early after spinning and hitting the ball. And getting his
And Bram
front
is going to
wings.
get Luigi here. Luigi defends to the outside, but really there wasn't a lot of defence to be done. He knew it wasn't his fight. He knew that his race is going to come to him, and Bram isn't his enemy just yet, as Sheehan boxes off of those medium tyres on lap 15. And Bram is going to look to now try and bridge that gap to Toppy, but is it even? Is it something that he can realistically try and do with tyres that are 7 laps older? And Luigi on those 14 lap old hards. Benziaxo on 14 lap old mediums. So those mediums must be working quite well for Benz. Maybe he's just holding out, hoping that someone causes an incident. An incident that could bring out the safety car, neutralise this race, back the pack back all up into each other, and bring him out maybe back in first, second, or well, right on the back of Toppy at the very least.
Hugo gets ahead of Mikey on those first couple of corners. Mikey's had a great race in getting those overtakes after spinning, but Hugo gets the position back, looking to get a bit of a gap. And behind them, James Petty gets the overtake on Korkamalakis. He's definitely been involved in a lot of overtakes in this race. And it's the three-way fight.
Korkamalakis has got two Alpines around him. Real Pixel being a bit careful not to get in any contact with the Haas driver or his teammate for that matter, but he's got they're all on newer tyres. James Petty trying to get those hards into a working temperature window, and that could be what dropped him into Korkamalakis' clutches very briefly. And we may now see, although there is definitely DRS in play here for Korkamalakis, we may see James start to pull away if he can get those hards working in his favour, and then maybe his teammate might start to shape up a move on the Haas car.
only 2 race drivers now that have not pitted, Luigi and Bence.
I mean, Bence is losing time. He's losing time rapidly. It was 13 seconds last time I checked, barely a lap ago. It is now 10, so he's really holding out, hoping for something to throw his strategy into a good position. But otherwise, he's going to be boxing onto hards. Or is he going to think about taking it long to maybe lap 17, 18 and going for softs for 10 laps? Like, that feels like that's too much to ask. He'd lose a whole lot of
Slightly
time.
loses control, loses position. I think it was on Real Pixel. Very unfortunate
Maybe
spin.
there's a coming together on the exit, maybe. If Real Pixel was trying to get a move done. Or
No,
Korkamalakis was trying to get a move done on James.
Korkamalakis was
into turn
side by
one.
side with James. And as he started turning left, Real Pixel just slight contact with Korkamalakis' rear tyres, and yeah. Slight spin, goes into the gravel, loses a couple of seconds. That is not ideal in the chase for points.
Well, it really isn't, and as it stands currently, the last position that dishes out points here is currently taken by Mikey and McLaren. He's taking those medium tyres to a point where he'll probably end up boxing for softs, but his strategy got thrown very much by by an incident in the first couple of laps. Luigi now, he has blinked. He's going into the pits, and he's now coming out in P7. Is he going to get ahead of the Aston Martin and Mick? He will. He's on the softs, so it's very early, I would argue, to have gone off those hard tyres and onto the softs. But I suppose if those hards really weren't working for him, mediums probably weren't the best bet there, and he's got a long way to go. And of course, Luigi is one of those drivers who's very good at maintaining tyre life, and not necessarily one for one lap pace. He's got Mick behind him. Mick isn't going to pose much of a threat as Luigi tries to get these tyres up to temperature, and he's going to have Matt in front of him to try and catch, but Matt's got some he's got some people to catch himself, and one of those being
Bence is in the pits now.
Right.
Toppy was catching him so quickly. He was 4 seconds behind as Bence pits. You wonder where Bence is going to come out. Probably still in second, I'd imagine.
Bence has gone for the softs, so
Maybe not in second.
is what I expected Bence to do. He would hold it out and go for the softs at the end, but he's lost quite a fair bit. Not necessarily as much as I expected. Although he is behind Bram, and he's behind Bram by quite a margin as he heads through turn 1, 2 and 3. He's got to get those softs up to temperature, he's got to get himself back into a rhythm, and he's not got a lot of ERS to work with either, so...
You mustn't forget though,
Also,
that Bram's tyres are 11 laps old. 11 lap medium, so...
Yeah, Bram's strategy is an interesting one.
Yeah. He had an interesting
you do wonder
qualifying strategy as well.
where he could come out once he's pit, because he pits and comes out maybe ahead of Sheehan, maybe behind Sheehan. It could be quite a interesting one there. Just depends on if Sheehan has the pace to gain on Bram with those new hard tyres.
Ducky's in the pit again.
Either way, Bram will be looking for softs at the end of the race.
Ducky's in the pit again.
Ducky boxing off some 9 lap old softs. But he will know more than anyone that it is worth sticking out these races, because he was not looking like he'd be fighting for a high position last race in Suzuka, and then a couple of incidents happened, shall we say, in the last couple of corners, and he found himself in the last point position, picking up some Constructors' Championship points for Haas. So, although maybe he's just not... Oh no, he is there, so he's sticking it out.
Not an ideal
On
situation
new
for him
medium
though.
tyres.
17th,
Bram pits.
16 seconds off.
Bram is in the pits.
Obviously you should gain with the fresher tyres.
Box onto soft tyres. He's come out behind Rares. Will he come out behind Sheehan? That is the question that I was wondering. Sheehan's got Matt right on his gearbox though. Matt has got DRS to work with, but he's not really got ERS. Sheehan's not going to defend it. He knows that he's best off trying to get the tow along, and Bram comes out at the end of the pits here, and he's lost a lot more positions. He's now behind Luigi as well, so Luigi trying to get those softs working, trying to build bring himself into this battle between Matt and Sheehan.
But you're
Although
not.
maybe
You already know Bram.
battle
though,
is a bit.
he can battle. But
Yeah,
he's
Bram
so,
will be in that battle.
Of what I've seen so far in this race as well, he's been so quick. So a little bit of loss of control there, but you know he's capable of getting those positions back, getting into the podium potentially.
Well, the podium will be his aim at the very least, and of course he's got fresh tyres to do it, and he's got all the ERS in the world to absolutely rinse in pursuit of a good finish here. Luigi is trying to gain on Sheehan. Of course, Sheehan wanting to sit behind Matt and hoping Matt can maybe tow him along. Matt has not got much ERS in the tank, having to come back from that drive-through penalty, so Sheehan has got a lot to defend with if Luigi looks like he wants to make a move, and Matt's not got a lot to defend with himself, so this could be a spicy little fight that happens as we head into the final corner. Well, final two corners, because apparently this little kink here is a corner. And down the straight we go. We have DRS for both the Ferrari and the Mercedes, but Sheehan is going to be the one who looks to make a move first. He's going to get the inside, he's going to be there before the braking zone, but is Luigi going to send one? He does. There's almost contact with the rear of the Ferrari, but he's going to get the move maybe done. Matt looks like he's got a better line though, as he takes a bit of that curb to try and shorten his run, and he's going to get DRS now as well to defend, so Luigi is going to have to sit behind Matt potentially as Matt defends that position, but he's lost out to Sheehan, and the Ferrari has done well to just drop back and then pounce on a position.
The rest of the field is pretty stagnant. The only real battle I could see coming up soon is Real Pixel and James Petty. As Real Pixel has been behind James for a while. James loses a bit of control there, but it has been like that for a while, and no moves, no action has occurred.
Yellows
so.
in sector 2. Is that Mick in the Alpha? Alpha? Aston
Mick,
Martin?
yeah,
it is.
Mick.
So Mikhail in the Aston Martin, he's had a mistake coming out of turn 9, and he's dropped to 9th behind the Red Bull of Hugo.
Matt is now behind Luigi.
So
2 tenths off.
Matt's lost out of position there to Luigi Sven.
Luigi's got a lot more
They'll
ERS
gain
as well.
it back. Well,
Good
Sheehan
battle there.
trumps all of those when it comes to ERS, and Bram trumps all of them. Bram is already on the back of this pack, and he's got Matt in his sights.
Luigi
He is
gets the
target
move
acquired
on Sheehan.
into this first corner. He's not going to be close enough, but as they fight further ahead and Luigi gets the move done, Sheehan's going to try and come back at him with DRS. Matt's going to try and get involved with DRS of his own, and Bram is just going to watch because he doesn't want to get involved with this if it's going to mean that contact occurs. Matt, there's not a move doing for him, and Bram now is getting closer and closer to the blue car of the Williams.
Mick and Mikey both pit. Mikey was off the, I think, 14 lap wheels, tyres, so that's understandable. And Mick was in an incident, so he will pit.
He had a bit of front wing damage by the
Yeah.
looks of it, because he's just had it changed, and he comes out in 15th. High caliber heading down the pit straight currently, so is he going to get a position off of Mick? It looks like he is. Mick out in 16th now with roughly 7 laps
Bram's
to go.
going for a move on Matt, gets the move, and will you look for more? Sheehan and Luigi, equally spaced. I think Bram on these
And
straight
Sheehan
from
and
DRS
Luigi
should
equally
get him.
poised with ERS to defend,
And he's
but
got Sheehan.
Bram has so much more to attack with, and he's going to get the position. Sheehan again, realising it's not necessarily his fight, he doesn't want to waste DRS there defending. He's got to try and stay clear of Matt Coppers as yellow's in sector 1 for, is that Ducky in the Haas who's gone off, or maybe Kokolakis? Looks like it's probably Ducky as Bentz
Maybe High
approaches
Caliber.
to lap him.
I'm sure.
It's a Haas, not an AlphaTauri, so it's more likely Ducky.
It was Ducky, yeah.
He's now dropped 22 seconds back off the next driver.
Mm.
Bram with the position gained on Sheehan, and he's now got Luigi Sven in front of him. Luigi Sven with, you'd argue, the favourable tyres of the cars Bram's had to pass, but realistically, is that going to play a factor as Bram is absolutely cooking? He's 3 tenths off the back, and he's got 80% ERS to work with. Luigi done a good job of managing his own battery power, but I don't think it's going to be enough to defend, and Xi'an's just going to sit behind and maybe try and pick up any scraps that could occur. Bram tries to sweep around the outside, but he cuts back to the inside. That is a brilliant move from Brown. He looked like he was going to go around the outside, and he just cuts into that apex, and Luigi just either didn't see it coming or just wasn't able to react in time, as Ducky finally decides that this race wasn't going his way and retires.
It was too big of an ask for him, I think. He was 22 seconds off
Being
16.
22 seconds off the...
Only 7 laps remaining. It'd need a miracle.
But Matt's struggling. Matt is struggling. He's not going to get DRS here. He's going to head all the way down the straight. He's got no ERS to work with, no DRS either. And there's a fight breaking out in front of him, possibly between Xi'an and Luigi, as they try and stick to the back of, an absolutely storming Bram. Matt is not going to be involved with this by the looks of it. He's just not got the pace, and he's not got the drag reduction to bring him back into this battle.
Real Pixel's pit.
Real Pixel coming off of those medium tyres.
Yeah.
So clearly he thought he couldn't take those to the end, or maybe there's a bit of damage involved, or something similar.
I don't think there would have been damage. He only lost... It might have been contact, but from what I could see, he's only lost about a second on James, so... May have just been him going wide, feeling the tyres. Or maybe, as you say,
maybe it was a case of he just found himself bogged down behind his teammate, and he just didn't want to cause an incident between either of them.
Yeah, he has been very safe, not going for any moves on James, because they were both happy with points. But now Real Pixel has to battle back through if he's hoping for any points this race.
Well, Luigi has tried his best. He has dumped all that battery that he had stored up in an attempt to stay within a second of Bram, but it is not doing for him, and he's going to be 2 tenths behind that DRS activation, and he's going to now be maybe in the clutches of Xi'an 101. Xi'an is to be fair, Xi'an dropping out of DRS there himself. He's going to get a second dose because of how it works with the detection point being at the final corner, but he's got to make sure that that does bring him back into DRS, because otherwise Luigi might get too much of a lead on him, and Xi'an could struggle to rein him back in.
Mike has really gained on Chaz with those new tyres. I think he'll get that position very soon, and then he'll be chasing down Korkamalakis and everyone in front of him.
I wonder if Pixel wasn't here. I wonder if Pixel disconnected. That was why his AI started to drop very slightly off the back of James, and it pit him. Because we've seen it before, the AI just doing random strategies and just pitting drivers when they disconnect. I wonder if that pit stop wasn't actually orchestrated by him. As for a second there, I thought Toppy spun as I
Chaz is an AI as well, I think. Chaz is see-through.
Yeah, so I wonder if he's also disconnected himself.
Yeah. Well, Mikey is a distance off of Korkamalakis, but he's got his tyres are so much fresher than everyone in front of him. So
that is the thing though, is that if Chaz is here and he's just paused, his AI I don't think will do anything irrational and pit like that. Or maybe it will, I'm not too sure. Although Pixel is back and he's already got a 3-second penalty for track limits, so there was another warning there. Coming through turn 10,
I'm not sure if he will get any points this race. Not been his race. Only a few laps remaining.
It's been a valiant effort for a couple of drivers near the rear of this pack who've stuck it out for the rest of the race.
He's giving it a go.
And it's quite an ask for certain drivers like Chaz to take those, as I say it, it's quite an ask for Chaz to take those hards to the end, as his AI pits him. So we're seeing it with Pixel, we've seen it with Chaz. AI have boxed him off for those 13 lap old hards. He's going to go on to softs for the last couple of laps and he loses. what would have been a 12th position. So
It's going to be a
it's not
big,
great, but I
big
suppose
ending
he
for
was not
Bram
going to
here.
be
Very big
gaining.
ending. 1.5 seconds off of Rares. His tyres are 5 laps fresher, and he's on the softs, whereas Rares is on the hards. So you think he'll get his position, but only 3 laps remaining.
With 3 laps, there's 3 laps, and it looks like he might not even need 3 laps. Rares has not got any battery. He is in
Neither
the
has
single
Bram, to
digits,
be
that
fair.
rear light is flashing, and Bram has dumped it all as well to try and gain this last podium position. As they head into turn 1, Rares has got 12 laps into his hard tyres, and that could be what is
Must
the
be really
decider here,
struggling.
because he's going to be suffering a little when it comes to trying to bite into apex of this corner, but it seems he's holding Bram off. Well, he's not holding Bram off really. Bram's on a charge. He's 7/10 back as they head through sector 2 now, and they go through the S section and into the heavy braking zone for turn 9.
We
Bram
haven't
is
had to mention
just
Toppy
gaining
at all.
consistently.
Shows how dominant he's been in this
Toppy's-
race.
Toppy has been dominant. Bence as well. We've not really
Yeah,
mentioned him. We've not mentioned Rares. He's gone under the radar, taking that medium hard strategy. It's almost worked perfectly for him, but now it could be coming back where Bram's offset strategy starts to bring him into a fight for the podium, and now Rares is in a bit of a snap there as he goes wide through turn 11, and those hards are starting to dish out a bit of pain, and he's going to be struggling as they head through down this last back straight before the last 2 corners. Bram's got the slipstream, but he's not got any ERS or DRS to defend. Bit of a wiggle as they try and figure out between them whether one of them is going to dive to the inside or not. Either way, Rares moving to try and break that slipstream. He's going to cut straight to the pit wall in an attempt to break the toe, and Bram has managed to build back enough ERS to absolutely... He's always gained, but he's not gained enough. They get to turn 1. Is Bram going to get the exit that he needs? They cut back as he cuts back to the inside, and he's going to be on the inside, but he moves to the inside, then moves to the outside. He feigned to the right, then he dove to the left, and he's going to swoop round the outside. There's contact, not enough to send either of them round, but Rares is going to have to sit in P4. Bram gets the position that was almost squeaky bum time for Bram, as there was contact made, and that could have sent one or both of them around and into the clutches of Luigi, Sheehan and Matt in the chasing pack.
I still
Although
think that
chasing
Luigi,
pack is-
Sheehan and Matt could catch up with Rares here. I mean, he is on the hards, very old hards as it is.
It's quite an ask
It is
for
an
Luigi to
ask.
take 10 lap old softs. Well,
Yeah.
to get 10 lap old softs working like that, to put in those lap times.
Rares
Anyway,
does have to be
Kosai pits
careful.
now off of those hards. 14 laps, quite a lot for hard tyres, and he wasn't really fighting for the points anyway. He might as well just bring it home safely on a new set, and maybe even try and take fastest lap off of who has it. And I'm not quite sure who that is.
Toppy, I reckon. Well, I say I reckon.
I would assume it is.
I'm pretty
Toppy.
sure I remember,
Like,
yeah,
that makes
Toppy.
sense. Yes, it is Toppy. And
Sheehan could,
Luigi isn't gaining on Rares. Those hard
should
tyres
catch up
doing
with
the
Luigi
job
here.
for the Alfa Romeo.
Got
But
DRS.
Sheehan, his hard tyres should be in the window where they have the performance over the softs, and he dives to the outside. They brake pretty much
Contact.
evenly, and there's not room there for the Ferrari as he tries to stick it on the inside of turn 2 as they head through 3 and down to 4. Who's got the DRS? It looks like neither have the DRS, or just I'm tripping and there's something I can't see. It looked like neither had that rear flap open as Matt spins. Matt behind them, he dropped it. He dropped on the exit of 4 and he's in the wall. I wonder if there's any damage to that front wing. It looks like there's none superficially, and we know we run reduced or standard reduced, and
He's
there's
miles
more
ahead of
likely
you,
not
though.
much damage to the barge board, but
He's so far ahead of you guys.
that was
it's not going to
that was
matter.
a scary snap there for Matt Coppy. Could have been out of the race if that had been any harder of a shunt to the wall. Either way, Sheehan now looking to move, but it's not happening for him. Luigi doing a very good job through this last sector. He's got a lot to defend though. He's got 11% of ERS, and Sheehan's got He's going to be using all of those hard tyres. Anything left on the carcass of those on the rubber to get past this Mercedes driver. They head down this last straight and into the last 2 corners of the last, heading on to the second to last lap. There's contact on the rear, almost pushing Luigi through that last corner. So Luigi's clearly not being able to take the apex speed that he needs to be competitive against Sheehan. Sheehan's going to get the position rather comfortably. It is now a case of, can Luigi fight back with the second dose of DRS as they switch back on each other. The Ferrari gets clear by almost 5-6 tenths, and Sheehan will get clear without much worry of a send from Luigi. He caught back up surprisingly well, but there wasn't a move on, and he's going to have to settle for 6th because those soft tyres, they're really not in a... They've got not much performance left in them, and Matt's 16 lap old mediums also don't have any performance left in them either, and clearly he's got to be careful to bring it home safely, as there's another little wriggle under traction. So a couple of drivers who've got to be careful. Korkamalakis 16 lap old hards, Toppy 16 lap old mediums. He's not going to care. There wasn't even... He must have hardly broke a sweat as he crosses the line. 12 seconds ahead of Benziak, though, who wriggles to take P2 for the Ferrari. It is a good result for the Ferrari man, but a dominant display from Toppy. Bram comes down this last straight. He's got Rares behind him, 1.4 seconds back, but realistically he's not going to be challenging Bram through these last 2 corners. And as they head up to the line, Bram takes the final podium position. Rares takes P4. Sheehan will get P5 as they head over the line here, with Luigi P6, and then Matt out the final corner, he will take P7.
Mikey,
and it's quite a way back.
Mikey could be the only person that could really get a move on this last lap. He slowed down though. Massively slowed down.
Paused. He's in AI, so
it doesn't seem like it's AI though. It's really slow.
See-through. Although he's going really slow, yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I thought he could have caught up with Korkamalakis. He was only half a second off.
I wonder if it's low fuel mode. Mikey's out of fuel.
Oh.
So.
Wow. Otherwise,
that is
he could have got
gutting end for the McLaren driver. He was fighting for that last point.
Got points there.
He was fighting for that last point, but now he's going to struggle to keep that position as Real Pixel takes 11th, and out of the last corner he's going to have absolutely nothing. He's just crawling towards the line, but luckily for him, there's enough drivers not on the lead lap that he doesn't lose too many positions. Still no points for him though. And there is your final order, with Korkamalakis picking up the final point in 10th position. And a little bit of drama at the end. No way near the front though, on that last lap.
Some big races.
It was absolutely dominant from Toppy. Absolutely dominant.
Benz again, very, very good from him. And Bram, not quite last the first challenge. However, he does make it up to the podium.
Last to podium will do.
Very, very good from him.
Toppy had last to first, but Toppy wasn't racing Toppy. Bram went for last to first, but Toppy was his competitor, and it just wasn't to be for him.
Warriors had a valiant display there as well. Did he end up 5th? I think so.
Who's this?
Rares, 4th. Yeah.
He ends up 4th, Rares. Luigi takes 5th, Matt takes 6th, so realistically it's a bit of a disappointment maybe for the Ferrari and Williams, who were both looking very strong after qualifying, both up there, and then really only one of their drivers got a decent point. So although you say that, but Sheehan almost did as well as Matt, so Williams probably the most disappointed of the two.
Matt did get the 6th for the sprint though, so that does help somewhat.
Yeah. So that's a double points haul for Red Bull as well. James Petty picking up a couple of points in both races. It's a good display from him. Not quite what Sir Face, his teammate, could do last race, but it's still respectable nonetheless.
You got a great race as well. I think he was one of the highest climbers.
Already shouts to oust Toppy from the league for being too fast, which of course would never happen, but my goodness, he was fast today. It's just about, can Shuey come back and knock him down a peg or two, because it seems like Shuey would be his only competitor.
Saying that though,
or Bram, if Bram qualified.
If Bram didn't have such a strange qualifying strategy, then I think he could have been at least would have been one of the competitors. because really Toppy is in a league of his own right now. Started this season extra special.
But there we go.